Just a few hours ago, I put out a video featuring a leak showing us some potential gear, potential gems that would go inside of pets. It was not official, but it was leaked, and I think that it could have a potential of being inside of the game. Now, we just had a trailer and patch notes drop for the update from the Blizzard team. This is the first thing that we're seeing from the Blizzard team about the Splintered Souls winter update that we're going to be seeing in just a few weeks. First, we're going to watch this trailer. It's 5 minutes long. It brings us into the brand new zone, tells us the lore of it, who we're going to be fighting, and then it shows us all about pets and give us the best look we've gotten yet from these pets. Then we're going to go through the patch notes. So let's dive into this right now and see what the update video looks like.
Hi, I'm Scott Burgess, lead designer on Diablo Immortal.
And I'm Ryan Quinn, senior narrative designer on the Immortal team.
As the nights grow longer, we enter the holiday season in the world of Sanctuary. But we want to remind you, 'tis always the season for slaying demons.
And we have a Brumaltine present for all of you. Our next major update, Splintered Souls.
Let's jump right into it. We'll start with our new zone.
Diablo Immortal's newest zone is the Southern Dreadlands, a place we've wanted to visit since the early development of Diablo 3.
The Dreadlands are the heart of Immortal's story. When Tyrael, the Archangel of Justice, destroyed the corrupted World Stone, Mount Ariat crumbled, and ash rained down for days. In Splintered Souls, we'll head to the Southern Dreadlands, an apocalyptic plain transformed by that event.
After you descended into Tristram Cathedral, the Lord of Terror closed his claws around the largest shard of the World Stone, and its power is right now speeding his rebirth. To have a hope of stopping Diablo, you and Tyrael will search the shattered north for the angelic sword of justice, El Druid. On your hunt, you'll explore twisting ravines left over from Ariat's collapse. You'll also delve into the Gully of Madness, a surreal landscape transformed by the World Stone's destruction and the harbinger of a new cataclysm for this land.
The Southern Dreadlands are subject to horrifying red storms that carry tiny splinters of destroyed Worldstone. When a storm passes through a settlement, it either cuts the inhabitants to pieces or transforms them into Shardborn, monsters driven to kill by visions of endless terror. Diablo's servants are ravaging the north, along with insects and beasts twisted by the power of creation. Imagine bugs with necks. It's the very thing that haunts my nightmares.
They're so gross, but I love them. You'll protect the wilds of the Dreadlands from horrifying monsters in a new zone event, a more mobile, inverted tower defense scenario. But there's only one real shelter left in this sad land: the great city of Stalbreak, last hope for scores of northern refugees. The cruel laird who controls Stalbreak is quite particular about who he lets through the gates. And a huge encampment, the Grey Wards, is right now forming outside the city, where people beg for access and plot revolution.
Viva Laird! Right?
No, it's Viva down with Laird.
I'm on Laird's team.
That's...
Diablo's eyes are upon you more and more every day, and your mission to find Eldruin is tied to the fate of the North and its people.
Don't screw it up.
I never do, Ryan. The exciting thing about fighting through the Dreadlands is you won't have to do it alone.
That's right. To help with your demon slaying, we're introducing familiars to Diablo Immortal. And to tell you more about them, our comrades in arms, Emil and John.
All right, so far, we got a great look at the new zone, which absolutely looks amazing. I love the lore behind it, how the World Stone is within people, that makes them just haunted dreams and attack us. Super cool. Again, I'm not the biggest lore guy, but I do love how they put all the lore together in this. Additionally, they touched briefly on the new tower defense mode, which seems fun. I still don't know if it's going to be a pop-up event that happens from time to time, or if it's going to be a mode that we can always do inside of the game. Either way, I'm a personal fan of tower defense. It's one of my favorite genres of game, so I'm going to be checking that out to see what it really looks like. But now in the video, we're going to get into the familiars, or the pets. Again, they're not telling us about any potential gem slots in the pets. They're not telling us about any gear for the pets. They mention evolution, but let's just get into it and see. We get some great visuals of what pets are actually going to look like.
Hello, I'm John Yu, Principal Designer on the Immortal team.
And I'm Emil Salim, Lead Artist on Diablo Immortal. We are so excited to talk to you about Familiars, a brand new feature in the game that revolves around companions that will aid you in Sanctuary.
Familiars are loyal allies that support players in battle to help combat the minions of hell. They also provide additional bonuses, with some even offering cool utility options to players.
What kind of utility options are I talking about? Can they grab me a cup of coffee while I'm in the middle of fighting a boss?
Not quite. But some rare familiars can provide convenience features, like being able to salvage or identify items without having to return to town.
Yeah, that's really cool. I actually spoke with Misery Hates Company about this, and he had word about that. I didn't hear about it at all, but that's going to be awesome to identify and salvage stuff, so you don't have to worry about your bag just being full all the time. Plus, if you have pets, I wonder if they need to even have blacksmiths everywhere. Like, what's the purpose of blacksmiths if you have pets? I also wonder when pets are going to be unlocked. Like, what level do you have to be?
There will be several familiars launching with the upcoming patch. Two of these are the Dust Prowler and the Varrock.
The Dust Prowler is a capricious, spiritual cat-like being that is said to escort the dead to lands beyond.
A creature that drags hopeless souls to hell? That sounds a lot like my boss. In combat, the Dust Prowler absorbs harmful effects by enemies to protect their masters.
The Varrock is another familiar we are releasing. It resembles a magical elk. There is a tree-dwelling spirit said to watch over travelers who pass through their forest. All they require in tribute are the souls of wayward folk who have lost their will to live.
Now that definitely sounds like my boss.
You know, they are going to see this video.
Oh, shoot. Quick, talk about how the art for familiars came together.
When visualizing the familiars, the art team took inspiration from multiple mythological creatures from all around the world. We also try to add some personality to their backstories, like the Dust Prowler is meant to look more mischievous, while the Varrock is more elegant and mysterious.
Familiars have a great deal of progression tied to them, with the ability to be upgraded and evolved. Through the evolution of familiars, players can discover more powerful and rare versions that will unlock unique skills and abilities. Well, that does it for us here. There's a lot more information to come. Stay up to date by following our social channels.
We want to wish you all a happy holiday season. 2023 has been an absolutely massive year for Diablo Immortal, and we are so excited for all the new adventures to come in 2024.
All right, well, this looks pretty cool. We got a decent look inside as to what it's gonna all look like, what the pets look like, which is something we never really had a really great look at before this. Now, I wanna take a look over here at this. Uh-oh, it looks like I need to readjust a few things right here. Actually, here, let's do this really quickly while we're live right here. Boom. All right, so now we got the written version as to what is going on inside of the update. What can we expect? Codex, the mystical companions, familiars, the new zone and event, Southern Dreadlands, additional Inferno difficulties, and Southern Soul Hone demons, and Rite of Cleansing daily activity. All right, so another new daily activity. We're going to read this from the start right up here, though. The 6th major update, Splintered Souls, is currently being tempered in the scorching flames of burning hells and will be released on December 14th. I, before this, thought it was going to be on the 16th, but nope, we're looking at the 14th, along with other nightmarishly enjoyable features. Stay tuned for more information. Let's look at the mystical companions, the familiars, to start. Tales of familiars are thought to be merely stories woven to captivate the young minds of Sanctuary and caution its overzealous explorers, but they are all true. While they might appeal unfamiliar to you, No, I'm sorry. They speak of companion creatures hailing from forgotten reaches of the world. While they might appear unfamiliar to you, they're unknown to the witches of the untamable wild circle, who signal spiritual contracts, but binding them to mortals. With the help of Niza, a new vendor located in Westmarch, you too can forge a lifelong bond with one of your sanctuary's hidden wonders. So we're gonna have a new vendor that's gonna be pet centric, and Macy is asking me for help. Let me help her. Here, girl. Lay down. There you go. Good girl. Huh? Continuing on. Here we go. Familiars are companions that aid in combat using a combination of active and passive skills, which can damage enemies or provide bonuses to the player and familiars. So what are those bonuses in form of? Like, how are those bonuses coming? These majestic allies can also lend a helping hand outside of combat if they possess certain traits, such as the ability to salvage or identify your items for you, allowing you to spend more time farming. So this is probably some of the evolution mechanic of the pets. You're going to be able to evolve them into having the abilities to be able to do that, because as it says right here, if they possess certain traits. So I wonder if different pets have different traits and you could only choose the pets that you want. Maybe you could have a farming pet that you take with you while you farm that has the blacksmith and the identifier. And maybe you have a combat pet that you take with you when you're in combat. We'll see. Protect Sanctuary alongside your familiars. Below, you can meet 5 of the 8 familiars stepping out of the shadows and into the fight against the Burning Hells on the 14th. We'll have more information on the other 3 in the future. All right, so there's room for updates here. We'll be seeing new pets being brought to the game. Zoltan Kuhl's library is inhibited by many wonders and just as many horrors. The Ash Sweepers are remnants of his early attempts at perfecting his golem servitors. Their priority was to curate and protect knowledge, but their interpretation of the directive led them to relieve many who traveled near the library of their possessions and lives. Fearing this behavior would draw attention to the library, Kuhl sealed the constructs away forever. So this looks like, actually it's pretty darn cool looking if you ask me. And evolution stages 1, 2, and 3. It looks as if we're seeing 3 stages of evolutions for the pets. I like that one. We have, and that was the Ash Sweeper. We have the Dust Prowler, Avatar of Mischief. Many cultures throughout Sanctuary tell tales of feral cat spirits which lurk in the shadows. To some, they're spectral guardians that ward off evil spirits. Others believe they escort the dead to lands beyond. Another group considered them heralds of disaster that must be appeased. The only thing upon which all of these stories agree is that they are capricious creatures, and they are just as likely to lead a desert wanderer to the oasis as the den of the hungry beast. All right, so notice here, we talked about the collar, the new slots, the new gear. Notice it has one neck, and then 2 necks. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. Probably not, but just a thought. It's the only one that has 2 necks. We have Marjan, the Tide Weaver. Widely considered a myth, Marjan are often blamed for all manner of nudicial problems, from broken anchors to poor weather. In truth, they're curious, playful spirits that inhabit the depths of Sanctuary's oceans. They've been known to venture to the surface from time to time and amuse themselves watching passing ships and conjuring raging storms in their paths. All right, so we've seen this one as well. This is one of the ones that was kind of featured often before. We have the Skitterweight Winged Trickster. That's an ugly bug, huh? A denizen of the spirit realm, the Skitterweight crosses over the sanctuary to hatch its young, usually near the outskirts of human settlements. The larvae emit a hallucinatory aura, which paired with their childlike cries, lure unsuspecting villagers to mistake them for an abandoned children and care for them accordingly. When they grow large enough, the larvae emerge from the cocoons and return to the spirit realm. So convincing is their deception that their adoptive guardians will protect them from discovery, even with violence. All right? And then this is the one that we've seen in all of the images. We have Virag, Watcher of the Forest. Virag, a tree-dwelling spirit said to watch over travelers who pass through their forests. All they require in tribute for their protection is the souls of wayward folk that have lost the will to live. It's believed they feed these souls to their young, in a sense, renewing the life that is lost in the spark. I will say, they told us nothing about the pets or how they work. A little bit, I should say. That they can evolve, which we knew, that they have the ability to identify and to salvage equipment, which is cool too. But nothing about how they aid in combat, if you notice. That was not mentioned. The new zone in Questland, I don't need to go over all the lore of the Questland. We kind of spoken about that, and we saw that in the trailer that we saw earlier. Additional Inferno difficulties and Soulhone Heliquary bosses. So it looks like the new Heliquary bosses we've touched on previously in a previous video. Double down on death in the Heliquary Surge. Actually, let's read the first part. Rhea calls upon you once more, Wanderer. Another face of evil has revealed itself in 5 new Heliquary bosses. These malicious harbingers of anguish can be encountered across 3 new Inferno difficulties, 4, 5, and 6. To unlock Inferno difficulty 4, you must defeat Saradon, Sky Sundrer on Inferno difficulty 3, and be at least Paragon level 1100. Seems fair, as long as people can get through that level of Heliquary boss. Double down on the death in the Heliquary Surge. Where there's one Titan of Hell, there's bound to be more lurking nearby. Felling any Heliquary bosses on any difficulty has a chance to trigger the Heliquary Surge immediately after. Think of this as the Burning Hell sending additional opponents to hunt you down. In the Heliquary Surge, you'll have to topple a few additional random Heliquary bosses at reduced strength. Should you rise to the occasion, both rewards and bragging rights will be your spoils to claim. I wonder if there's going to be some type of an additional cosmetic or cosmetic frame or something that you get for defeating this zone. It's like, actually we just completed it the other day on my server, but when you defeat the 4 in a row, you then get the cosmetic. It seems like a different version of that. Now there's the new daily activity, the Rite of Cleansing daily activity. This is something I know nothing of. But there's a portal, and there looks like there's a bunch of different flowers on what looks to be like some type of a serving altar, plate, something like that. Caked in foul demon blood from your conquest over the demonic scourge, you turn to a new service offered by Nizza in Westmarch to keep your body and mind whole. The Rite of Cleansing is a new daily activity where you'll earn Moonrite Flora from culling monsters in Sanctuary. You can hold up to 99 Moonrite Flora, and each Flora has a strength value of 1 through 5. Sacrifice 5 recently obtained Flora to open one of 3 events based upon your total value of the Flora used. The rewards you'll receive from completing the event scale from the strength of the Flora sacrificed, and can consist of legendary items, set items, and more. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Monstrous Essence, where you're collecting it throughout the day. Although Monstrous Essence doesn't give us any abilities, it doesn't give us any. It does give us gear and stuff, but it doesn't give us an event. It's not giving us an event to compete in, to participate in. Again, teasing us, not really telling us exactly what we're going to be seeing here. But it's cool that we're going to have another daily event. Looks like it's something else we're going to have to grind throughout the game. Hopefully it's cool, hopefully it's not daunting, and hopefully it's an enjoyable experience. Patch notes. They just make us have more questions about how these pets are actually going to work. I guess the question I have for you is, do you believe that pets are going to work with gear, with gems in that gear? Or do you believe that it's just they're going to have different abilities that can aid us in our combat, aid us in our farming, and just maybe some quality of life things as well? Really curious. Looking forward to the update. The 14th, my friends. That's only 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's only 8 days away. 8 days from now, we will have a Diablo Immortal update that is potentially, apparently, said to be the biggest of all time.